AI literacy isn't a skill gap, it's a loyalty test. I'm going to make a prediction, a bold prediction. Well, well, maybe not that bold. By 2027, not knowing how to work with AI won't make you old-fashioned, resistant, or behind the curve. It will make you unemployable by design. Not fired, not laid off, not even rejected outright, just quietly excluded. And the most unsettling part, most organizations won't admit that's what they're doing, even to themselves. We keep hearing the same soft language: upskilling, reskilling, digital fluency, AI as an assistive partner. Sounds humane, sounds progressive, almost generous. But underneath that language is a much harder reality emerging in real time. One spelled out clearly if you read between the lines of workforce forecasts, hiring experiments, and internal policy shifts already underway. AI literacy is no longer a skill, it's a behavioral signal, and that changes everything. Here's the uncomfortable truth most HR leaders are circling but not naming. AI literacy has become a proxy for trust, not technical trust, institutional trust. Can this person supervise a system instead of waiting for instructions? Can they challenge an output instead of deferring to authority? Can they explain why they trusted a recommendation or why they rejected it? That's what organizations are really testing for now. And if you can't demonstrate that capability, the system doesn't assume you need training. It assumes you are a risk. This is why the conversation feels different than every other tech wave we've lived through before. This isn't Excel replacing ledgers. This isn't the internet replacing filing cabinets. This isn't even automation replacing tasks. This is judgment being audited. And once judgment becomes auditable, power moves quietly, systemically, at scale. Let's talk about HR for a second. HR has always balanced two roles: people advocate and organizational guardian. But AI breaks that balance because once AI enters hiring, performance management, workforce planning, and internal mobility, HR is no longer primarily stewarding humans. It's stewarding systems, bias audits, model governance, risk mitigation, compliance, defensibility, which raises an ugly, unspoken question. When resources are limited, who is cheaper to fix? The system or the people who don't fit in it? That's where the loyalty test emerges. Not loyalty to a company, loyalty to a way of working. If you can operate inside AI-mediated workflows, question them fluently, and accept their presence without resistance, you're seen as adaptable. If you can't, the system doesn't see potential. It sees drag. Now let's talk to recruiters for a minute, because you feel this shift in your bones. I know you do. Your job isn't disappearing. Your discretion is. You're being trained subtly, gradually, to trust algorithmic confidence over human nuance, to move faster. That's what it's all about. To justify fewer exceptions, to explain decisions with dashboards instead of conversations. You still make the call, but inside guardrails you didn't design. And if you're honest, you've already felt that internal conflict. When the system flags someone as low confidence, but your gut says otherwise, which one do you override? Which one do you really listen to? That tension isn't accidental. It's the point. Now for job seekers, because this is where the emotional weight really lands. This isn't about learning faster. It's about proving legitimacy. AI literacy has become a credibility filter, a signal that you belong in a workforce that now assumes human judgment must be machine adjacent to be valid. If you don't speak AI, the system assumes you can't question it. And people who can't question systems don't get seats at decision tables. They get tasks, they get outputs, they get measured, but not heard. That's why this moment feels heavier than past transitions, because the threat isn't job loss alone, it's agency loss. And here's the part no one wants to say out loud, but everyone feels. Organizations are externalizing reskilling risk onto workers. They're saying adapt or fall behind, while quietly redesigning environments where falling behind is structurally inevitable for anyone without access, time, or psychological safety to experiment. That's why DEI conversations around AI feel so tense, because AI literacy gaps don't emerge evenly. And when access to judgment becomes uneven, inequality stops being accidental. Inequality becomes automated. So let's name the reframe clearly. AI literacy isn't about prompts. It isn't about tools. It isn't even about productivity. It's about who retains a voice inside the system. Those who learn to work with AI gain leverage, not because they're faster, but because they can supervise, explain, and challenge. Those who don't are still working, just without influence, without override power, without narrative control. This is the mandate no one is spelling out, because it's uncomfortable, because it implicates systems, and because it forces leaders to confront a hard question. Are we preparing people for the future, or selecting who we're willing to leave behind? By 2027, AI literacy won't be optional, not because technology demands it, but because power does. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. If you want clarity on what's happening now and next in the world of work, subscribe to the Recruiting Life newsletter over at my website, jimstroud.com. Because if this conversation has felt uncomfortable, that's a signal, not a problem. It means you've recognized what's actually at stake here. This isn't about keeping up with technology. It's about keeping your judgment and your voice in a world that's learning how to operate without asking for either. Well, my time is up. I thank you for yours. I'll see you again real soon right here with a brand new episode of the Jim Stroud Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I can be reached by email at jimstroud@jimstroud.com. And one last favor, if I may ask, please rate this podcast. 5 stars is preferred, but please comment with your honest opinion. I really appreciate that. All right? Okay, until next time, bye-bye.